The kinds of tools that assist in writing are not new to the AI era. Spell check is decades old, as is the thesaurus that's embedded in word processors. That was even made fun of in Friends. Grammar checkers and summarizers added some heft to the writer's toolbox. LLMs more recently powered stylistic matching and rewriting. The convenience is undeniable. No doubt there are many excellent use cases. Yet, this is more consequential when looked at as an impact cumulatively over many users and across many years of use. What we're used to seeing, used to reading, used to writing becomes gradually more uniform and becomes our default, until it's difficult to think or even remember outside those lines. Books and older writings can create a kind of defense, but how often do we dip into that well at all? And how well do we retain that and apply it, especially as measured against the uniformity in day-to-day life? Any writer, not necessarily an author, just someone who writes sometimes, relies on these tools. And now they take up a larger percentage of the material that gets written. Algorithmic suggestions become a kind of consensus and alter or replace our own existing mental model. We can end up internalizing patterns of correction that privilege certain structures, certain syntaxes over others. Complex sentences become something to suspect. Unconventional phrases trigger alerts. We've all seen it, those tooltips in Gmail and elsewhere. Algorithms that are trained on acceptable use nudge users toward a kind of statistical mean, and the result is basically editing via consensus. This kind of standardization does carry undeniable advantages, especially in business environments. Clarity reduces miscommunication, consistency streamlines collaboration. In quarterly reports, client and correspondences, internal documentation, predictable patterns make information much easier to glean. Organizational friction can diminish when everyone is on the same page. The benefits in productivity and comprehension are measurable and real. Yet, the cost does accrue. Creative writing, critical essays, journalism, all of these thrive on kind of idiosyncrasy. Even slightly more formal material, such as essays, scholarly material, nonfiction, these still excel based on personal idiom, unexpected construction, wordings that demand attention and stick out, or put something in a way we wouldn't have expected. But if we get to a point where years of practice and maybe even multiple generations of writers have learned to write through tools that in effect penalize deviation, we're reducing our linguistic flexibility. We won't even have the tools potentially to interpret what we're reading. The constraint doesn't need to prohibit writing a certain way. It just needs to change what we view as normal and what we view as understandable and what we look at as proper practice. Some of this is inevitable. We don't write the way Shakespeare wrote. We don't even write the way Benjamin Franklin wrote. Language changes over time. But change shouldn't mean constriction. The tools used to write always shape how things are written. Pen and ink demanded more deliberation and preparation. A typewriter calls for a certain kind of linear narration, and so on. Automation now lets us optimize and streamline and communicate with efficiency. Whether the result of this constitutes overall an improvement or more of a dilapidation of language depends partially on perspective, but more so on how the tools are used. Alternative approaches might also be possible. One thought is to apply more finely tuned algorithms, catered maybe to spaces and individuals, or taking the purpose of the communication into account in the manner and intensity of scrutiny being applied. And even this approach requires buy-in from organizations and from the providers of the automated tools, and the incentive isn't there. That leaves the onus on the individual, the end user, so to speak, the writer, each of us. Even when we think we're being clever and original and writing our own way, often the compared output we see suggests otherwise. Often we're just not quite as creative as we think we're being. That's true no matter what, but it's true all the more so when we're guided in that uniform direction. That's a sobering outcome, and it requires an equally sober analysis of benefits and return on investment. Now, it's best not to overstate the case. At least for now, individual quirks certainly remain, even in business communication, maybe a little bit too much so sometimes. And maybe that'll be so forever, since humans, after all, are creatures of variety. But there is clearly good reason to pay a little extra attention when the machine wants to touch up your text, and you didn't even ask.